trying to mute the mic so it don't pick up so I can hear myself, but then also at the same time talking into the mic so I can't have it on mute, so I can't hear myself. Right. Let's see if AI fixed it. Where get this music from?
Good morning, or afternoon, I should say, for myself. Late start to the morning and to the flight because the captain, unfortunately, had a few more things to do. Life as a pet owner. A bit unpredictable, let's just say that. Nonetheless, we start our Sunday afternoon off with a special delivery of Chicago Bears training camp. Welcome in to Mailbox Sports. Once again, I am your host, and for the training camp, hydration coach, Postman 1914. Got to keep those boys from getting cramps out there and everything. T Miles, how you doing? Appreciate you pulling up, gang. T Miles, we talking training camp and just our thoughts about it. And I say our thoughts merely because I've not seen very much footage or feedback into how training camp started for the rookies. Maybe because it is a weekend start, a Saturday. Started yesterday. And so what we're here to do is go ahead and deliver some of those fresh thoughts straight to your doorstep, brother. Let me know how you feeling this morning. If you got any thoughts about what we got going on for the training camp as far as positional battles, any other tough questions that we're about to try to go ahead and deliver on. So let's first find out who might be premium type of delivery, and who might be those people that we return the sender. Mr. Bluefax, welcome in, and how are you feeling this morning for yourself?
What's going on, man? Feeling good. Off to a good start. Got some stuff done early this morning. Ready to get into this and enjoy my Sunday. Watch some Cubs, Red Sox. Get another dub.
Oh, what was that?
That's about it.
Five home runs yesterday. All solo shots.
I think it was 6. We won 6-0.
We won 6-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
En route to the best record in baseball, no less. Don't. Let's not leave that out right there before we get into anything Bears, because usually we go here and wrap it up with the Cubs. We're gonna give some adulation to them. I mean, pretty much all throughout, because go Cubs go, and they flying W's left and right.
Saying that we couldn't beat good teams, man. We only beaten bad teams. Is the Red Sox a good team?
Well, they had a 10-game win streak before we got to them.
So I think that's a decent win. So
I think they got a 2-game losing streak now, but and I love it. Get a 3-game losing streak today, and we gonna return their ass to sender straight to Boston. Man, who pitching today? Do you know? I don't know personally. I know Shoulder dealed it yesterday, but we'll figure it out sooner than later. T. Miles, never asked you, but are you a baseball fan? And if so, what might be the team you root for? We continue on into the segment while you gather an answer if you have one for us. But we talked about returning the senders, and we are going to talk first and foremost, Mr. Bluefax, about those players that might actually be on their way out or quote unquote on the roster bubble. We're going to look into what we call roster friction in this regard. Every year we get some surprise cuts. Oh, he is a Cubs fan. Go Cubs, go! There you go.
We got another one.
You get the veterans that are surprise cuts. You get some rookies who may shine to have those veterans be cut. And you get those guys who you can't wait to see get cut. So I know last year for Mr. Bluefax, he was heartbroken when one of his favorite players, Valus Jones, finally got the boot. Didn't happen in training camp, but eventually the football gods. Say that again.
Who else want that to happen? That couldn't only been me.
No, you loved him, man. He was heartbroken when it happened. Okay, so this is what I say. I might say about 1% to be nice, just to be fair, to not ever lean into 100%. We're gonna say 99.2. One of them gone, and the other 0.8 was like don't care. I'll put me in the 0.8. Just to make it make sense. Yeah, make it make sense. I'm the 0.8. I go with that. Like, I ain't care either way. I knew it was gonna happen, but I know people wanted it to happen in training camp, and so this year maybe we might get things like that to happen. Maybe not, but I want to know for you, Mr. Bluefax, who will stamp out a role on the team, and who is most at risk at being undeliverable in terms of not making the cut. If you want any reference points for the bottom tiers or anything like that, or if you already got maybe the roster pulled up for depth, you can go ahead and let me know what you think.
Yeah, so let's start out with players on the bubble in risk, need to show something. I would say Tyler Scott's probably somebody I would say is on the bubble. I think productivity is a premium, and we just not seeing it. I know there's a lot of reasons why we can go back to coaching, but I think we can go back to coaching for most of the roster from last year.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to get something out of this talent, because talent ain't gonna get it done. If you're not producing, at some point I gotta move on from you. So I would say he's probably one of the people most likely to be on that bubble and in threat, especially as we keep adding more resources in that receiving room.
I dig that.
That's gonna be primarily kick returning. I don't know if that's what he really signed up for, but that's where he's going.
Well,
and that is not guaranteed.
You signed up. I mean, you signed up to play football, so can you make it anywhere? not to get
Facts. I
not
mean,
to
they
get
pay
not
you,
to
they
get
pay you for that
sidetracked.
job.
Oh no, that's right. I don't want to get you sidetracked, but
Right.
yes, get on the squad, boy. If you gonna make it. Um,
And then I
and
think the person I'm probably most excited for on the receiving core is probably Luther Burton. I think he's probably the most. I think he's probably more of an impactful player than Loveland, only because I think he's gonna get opportunities earlier on than uh, than Loveland. But we'll see.
okay, that's interesting to say. We got any I guess
Interesting to say.
yeah, any defensive players you might be uh having your eyes on per se?
In terms of on the bubble, let me see. Nobody comes to mind off the top of my head. There's some offensive linemen that need to probably start to see their way out. Ryan Bates is probably one of them. He's probably the only person that comes to mind. I see some people on here that are listed, but none of them really stand out to me.
Now, before I get into any, I guess, questions to some of those particular statements there, we got to get T Miles a wrench. I forgot to do that last week, but every episode we on, I see that name in the chat, so that's what we're gonna classify as a day one. So I appreciate him. We're gonna make sure he get that mod wrench sooner rather than later. So I can't multitask too well, but we'll get you together afterwards. As long as I can add you at T Mouse 15, I'll check you on later on. Back to offense and defense. I do have some names, like you said, for people that could be cut worthy. Tyler is at the top of that list, and I say that because obviously I first thought maybe Devin Duvernay might be the veteran who, while we signed him for return value, Tyler might be able to outperform him in some capacity, or at least split in terms of being the kick returner or the punt, while he's the other, because I don't know if Duvernay does both. So like you said, I do see the niche for him to be able to assert himself as a more return guy and maybe a third down deep threat if he ever learns how to stop alligator the football. Or I think Antoine, if there's anything to be maximized out of you, we'll get it, and we'll know about it obviously in training camp as far as how down on the depth chart he is. And then you mentioned somebody you surprised to see, which is Luther. Obviously, I'm surprised and ready to see Luther. And I bring Luther up in this context because we're talking about being surprised and ready to be wowed by Luther Burton more so than even our first round selection. Meanwhile, on the inverse, we just talked about Tyler Scott fighting for his life. And Tyler Scott, if nobody remembers, is a third round pick from Cincinnati. So it's not a low pick. It's not a fifth round pick just toiling around trying to make its way. A third round pick is supposed to contribute heavily to your team and in some instances be able to contribute to maybe possibly being a fringe starter or more. And so the fact that we are talking about him in such a way right now is, I think, disappointing, and it alludes to a episode I think we'll have next week, hits and misses. We're going to get a bit more into Ryan Poles before the season gets underway in terms of he got an extension last week. I won't question the validity of it or whether or not he deserved it. We'll go through some of his body of work to see if it has improved over the years. Let's say it that way. But back to what we're talking about here. I do see Tyler and Devin possibly being able to be the only battle for depth. The other guys below them, the J.P. Scotts and such, may be battling to be practice squad guys, or so on and so forth. And I do like some of the
Kevin White, man. That's my only. That can't happen.
Well, we don't have any first round wide receivers, so hopefully nobody. When we talked about bust at work, side note, and the biggest bust in terms of first round picks, and none of my coworkers even could recognize or remember Kevin White's name. But I do vividly because you spent the top 7 pick on what we classify as a. You damn right. We can't have that happen for not a nan pick, and if you wasn't 6th round or lower, in my opinion. That's the only way you could be that bad. Now, T. Miles has gotten to my defensive slew of players where, yes, Zach Pickens to me Zach is on that list heavily, and I really struggle. Besides maybe a Dominique Robinson, to find anybody else that might be on that list. And I can't even say Dom Rob, but I will leave his name there because of your past performances. But I don't believe that he's been spoken up by the defensive ends coach or the defensive line coach just for trade value, because I don't think he have any. So, I mean, the limited showing, he might actually have gave him something to hang on to. We'll find out. You know, the veterans report on the 22nd. So we'll go ahead. Go ahead.
There's 5 players. So Tyler Scott's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is Ryan Bates. Number 3, Doug Kramer. 4, Zach Pickens. And then Dominique Robinson's the top 5 bubble players according to Bears Wire. So I think we hit all of them. I don't know.
And see, I would
confidence in some of these players. A
who?
little bit
Like
more
who?
probably. Huh?
Like who? Like who? Who do you have confidence in?
I want confidence probably. The wrong word.
I mean, just
hope.
well, okay. I mean, I get you.
Yeah. I really, I want to say that Doug Kramer can be better with better talent around him. I think his role needs to be adjusted, to say the least, but I think he can still be productive. I think we need depth in that offensive line. So some of this comes down to that depth, not necessarily overwhelming success, but just productive downs, essentially.
And so that was going to be my next point when we talked about people like Doug. Obviously, and I'm being honest, I don't think Doug was misused last year. I think he was used too much, and too much diversity in your role in the way in which they rolled you out there. I'm not negligent to the fact that that could have been done a little less, if you ask me, and I think we both agree on that. Conversely, he is a center, and we didn't have an injury to the center position and need him to play said backup role, but we spoke to depth, and I do believe that the new offensive line coach, along with the fact that he's been there for 3 years now, I believe, and he was a 6th or 7th round pick, speaks to his work ethic and the willingness he has to be able to be coachable, I believe. And so I think he's a valuable depth piece, like you said, to be a backup center, because I don't really know if we have another one. Let's just be honest. Secondly,
it's not needed, but I get the point.
Yeah, hopefully, I never want to see you, Doug. I want to see.
I want to
ever. I don't want to see.
A whole list of people I don't ever want to see.
But I'm glad you're there on the sideline cheering.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yes.
You know, like everybody should be.
But don't you step your
ass. Don't step your ass in the field. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is for me. Power player, be safe on your way to the crib, bro. The 808 represented in here. And so, like, when you speak of people with Ryan Bates, if Ryan Bates does not report on the 22nd with all veterans ready to go, then I retract my statement fully, and I want you on that bubble. But I looked at a depth chart earlier today, and the third string person was not Luke Newman, as I would have hoped. That's a 6th round pick from Michigan State. Luke plays the opposite side. The number 2 backup to, I want to say, Joe Tooney. It's Ryan Bates. Okay. It's Ryan Bates. Somebody traded equity for you, which is only a 5th round pick. So I want people to put emphasis on any trade that goes bad if you give away draft capital, because you could have got somebody younger. But a 5th round pick was not as detrimental as the Claypool pick per se. You see what I'm saying? That was a 1st round pick essentially.
That was the first.
But that was a dart, and it was justified. I'm not critiquing that, and we'll talk about it later. But it was a worthy pick at the time to give up. It didn't pan out right, so it's going to be scrutinized heavily as it should be. But a fifth round pick, I don't think should be as heavily judged, but judged accordingly. And so I need Ryan to be able to have a helmet just in case. Just like we just talked about Doug, I need you to be able to prove what Buffalo and Chicago both thought of you, because Buffalo blocked us from signing you the year before we traded for you. So something they saw in you said pay him some money. So it's not like they was like, nope, you can have him the first time. Now the second time they might have got over, but the first time they saw something in him. So it's not like you were devalued. Prove your worth. You don't seem to be a person who don't try to work.
Though?
Huh?
You don't think that was partly strategy? You don't think holding on to him, blocking?
No, because it eats at your cap, and they didn't sign him for like a little pennies type of deal. The Bears are gonna give him kind of semi mid-level starter money, so you don't pay a backup to sit. And he still was supposed to start this year. He had injuries the year when they kept him, because they released the guard, so he had injuries and such. They were waiting on him to ascend to the role. Never happened, and then he became expendable because somebody else Wally pipped him, much like how it happened here. Injuries kept you off the field. When you were there, you didn't look too productive because of those injuries, in my opinion. And so somebody else took your job before you even got to assert yourself. I need you to assert yourself as what Buffalo saw you as the first time, a reliable backup, and be that unless they see something on the scrap heap or something else that may move you to do something different. And while we talk about moving, we move on to the next segment. We're going to do a little bit of a change of address out here. So, to use mail puns, Ben Johnson is not just a new guy in the mail room. He get to run the whole route these days. You know, some CCAs carry about 2 hours. Some of them carry 3 hours of the route. Ben got the whole route now. He El Capitan. Play designs, tempo, terminology, all those things undergo what I think of as a major address change. And so I'm asking you, who do you think will best look like they are settling in, and who will still need to kind of forward their game or their effort to training camp? So, what player is going to adjust the best, in your opinion, instantly, because offenses are usually second to catch on in training camp, meaning the defense starts out stronger because they have to learn less. And who do you think is going to be the guy who has to put in a bit more work in order to realize the potential that we see for him?
Gotcha. I think the rookies are probably going to have the easiest go at it, if that makes sense. Like the Lovelands and the Burns, because they don't have to forget last season and pick up a whole new terminology.
I get that.
They're going to start out with, it's going to be difficult. They're rookies, right? So you're going to have that rookie slump. But in terms of like what we did last year versus what we're doing this year, I think that's probably less of a factor. So
because you got an eagerness for it. Yeah, I get that.
Right. I can see that being, one less thing they have to take on. Okay. So players that I think that are going to, like I said, and Luther Burton is probably, because in my mind he's an explosive player, he's probably the most athletic, impactful player on the receiving core. Like, obviously Luther is a speed guy, he's a power guy. I think he's going to be able to adjust and make impactful plays, because a lot of that's going to rely on just talent as a ball carrier. So I can see him having what I would hope to be a productive training camp, because catch the ball, run, not incredibly difficult, right? And that athletic talent is going to kind of pursue from there. I think that's going to get him a long way in training camp, and just seeing his explosive playability. It's going to be similar to, and I say this kind of, a little bit hyperbolic, how Caleb used to have those, spectacular plays in training camp, where his talent just takes over, busted play. still being able to be productive. I see some of that in just the way he's going to be able to impact training camp.
Okay.
Got to keep an eye on him. He's going to draw a lot of attention, and I think that just opens up a lot of other players on the field. So that's probably where I would say I would expect to hear more news out of what he's doing in training camp. Not that Loveland won't have that, but I don't know that he's going to have the same explosive type of plays. I don't know if we're going to see many shorts or clips of him breaking the seam. I hope so, but I would probably go more towards Luther than Loveland in that case.
And if y'all want to see some of those explosive moves that Mr. Bluefats is talking about, go ahead and check out the YouTube short I put out this morning. Gives you a little bit of insight into 87 over there. He want to be the greatest 87, meaning you think you better than Waddle. You better show me. Because Waddle was the...
84, right?
No, he 87.
Loveland's 84.
Oh, Loveland's 84.
Okay, 87.
My daughter must be coming in. Nonetheless, he out here telling me to speed my tempo up over there. He trying to let you know. Hit the like button, everybody, before the dog gets too active over here. Subscribe to the page if you have not. I appreciate everybody pulling up and hanging out. You say Luther Burden will be the person that gives you the most easily adapted situation.
Yeah.
Okay, and you gave me both rookies. So you say Colston, you think will need to pick it up a bit, only because of, well, I don't know the reasons you have, but I have one in particular.
Well, not necessarily just pick it up, but it's training camp, right? So you only, I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. If you don't play well, it's horrible because it's training camp and, you know, you're supposed to be strapped up and ready to go. If you do play well, it's only training camp, so nobody is super excited. What I'm saying is I don't think that Loveland's going to struggle. I think he's going to have success. But I think when it comes to training camp and the things that we end up hearing about are usually those explosive plays, that breakaway ability, it's just going to suit the narrative for Luther Burden a little bit better than Loveland.
And so I'm hopeful that the shoulder injury, the AC joint, because I don't know that he's been given, what do you call it, the green light to go ahead and like do stuff, practice or whatever. I don't know his status just as of yet. I believe he's on track to start training camp yesterday like everybody else, but the load that he would have taken on and the missed time is something that I do think will have him a bit behind in some regard. And I say that only to speak of it from his position battle, because Cole's not been sidelined in any way, shape, or form, been able to work out fully and keep himself conditioned, so on and so forth. So mentally he may be there, but physically is his body ready to go ahead and perform the way in which they expected to initially. Much like a Braxton Jones, who won't be ready for camp initially. I think it lends credence to the speed in which somebody might get acclimated to the system, and we'll get to talk about those at some point in terms of just the overall position battles. We'll get to that, but those are the people you see flourishing and quite possibly not.
I totally agree with Team Out. All this is directly going to be related to Caleb's productivity. So Caleb ain't doing what we think he's supposed to be doing. Doesn't really matter how open you are, how much talent we get out there. Caleb got to stay upright. So maybe, you know, also from this is keeping Caleb upright with that offensive line. I think it'll probably, there's a narrative behind that where we're top 5 offensive line. So we should, although the defense may start out with early success, that early success should not be due to the fact that Caleb is constantly picking himself up off the ground and we're constantly being sacked in training camp, so to speak.
I could dig that.
Keep him clean. Keep him clean.
Keep him
I
clean.
want to be able to hold Caleb completely accountable, and I do not want any excuses. I want to know what we got. And so often I feel like we're in a situation where there's always this narrative of, well, we just got a new offensive coordinator. We just got a new offensive line personnel. Like, I want us to be in a situation where we can hold the number 1 pick accountable and make a decision and move from there. I think that's how you get success. You get success from accountability. And I don't want him have any more excuses. Not that he's leveraging those now, but you know what I mean.
Now, T Miles, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna let you get the terminology because everybody else might not. First off, happy Sunday to Healing. Happy Sunday to the Celebrity HQ. Hit the like button, like she said. Show support. And let me tell you, T Miles, Mr. Bluefax has been offside twice in this one segment because he has given all the good stuff to break down my whole show. We're gonna get to a couple things he talked about. I won't.
Almost like I read the script.
Yeah,
Like,
it is. It is like he almost followed suit in these things over here. Like he got it going. Nonetheless, if I can say,
I'm gonna read it one day.
if I think anybody might struggle, I think the person that struggles the most, and by struggle I mean will have his head most buried in this thing, and I don't say struggle in a bad way, and that's 18. We talked about him. You have to learn every single thing about the offense from everybody's aspects and from Ben's eyes, and I think they have worked diligently on doing so, but I don't know the level of, we talked about chemistry last week, I don't know how much work he's put in with all of the non-rookies, like, and that might be my fault for not keeping up with any of his off-season workings or dealings. So I don't know how much things he's done to work on timing and such. And so I'm just speaking of merely a little bit of rust and a little bit of yelling from the coach for him to get that ball out on time. Because like you said, the line is supposed to be ranked highly and highly thought of. That gives you complete opportunity in Ben's system and with his philosophy of no block, no rock, to be the person who should not have much excuse when it comes to doing the right things, getting rid of the football, and not taking sacks that are not on the fault of, I should say, as a result of the offensive line or anybody else missing their assignments. Go right ahead, Mr. Bluefax.
So, question for you:
Mm-hmm.
Is superstar Caleb going to be a problem? Because this is going to be a quarterback, if given any success, in my opinion, is going to be a superstar personality, unlike any other quarterback that the Chicago Bears have seen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see Caleb going down this path, like out and about, socializing and starting to do all the things that he already, did in college,
Mm-hmm.
my immediate mind goes to get in the film room, watch film. Why are you at this game? Why are you at these events? Why are you golfing at Top Golf? I get that you have a life and you have the ability to do those things, but we're talking about somebody who we know needs to be studied. And I'm okay if he's successful. I'm going to be a little bit hyperbolic if he's not. But if this young man at quarterback is half of what we think he can be, he is going to be
phenomenal.
A comparison. He's going to be a Cam Newton-esque personality at the Chicago Bears quarterback position, and we haven't had that.
No.
Are we ready for that as fans?
Well, you have had that, but in the 80s.
What's that?
You have had that, but in the 80s.
When? Who?
Oh, your punky QB was the most charismatic in commercials and everything else. He's the predecessor to all diva QBs. Jim McMahon. No. We don't have social media, so the reach wasn't there. I said in the 80s.
That part. That part right
that's
there.
it.
That part right there.
So I understand that it'll transcend what he did.
You'll be watching Wheaties commercials with Caleb, and that's going to be.
But you'll magnify it. That's right. But you was doing that with Jim, right. But only you can watch commercials. Now you can see social media, him pulling up and things of that sort. But I ask of you this: there are 24 hours in a day. I don't know if sleep studies for certain people may do 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. I don't know how they go. So let's say they do 5 hours. That would leave us with what? 19 left in this 24. You're a hard-working guy. I know this factually, and I know you to disappear from the social realm when it's time to lock in. And then every now and again, for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, you regale yourself in some banter of sorts.
Okay.
I am totally. If I saw 15 posts of Caleb popping up every 2 hours doing something, yes, brother, you got a problem. But just because I don't see anybody else doing what the face of the franchise will do, because anything he does is going to be recorded, whether he's trying to get it recorded or not, and it's going to be scrutinized whether he performs or not. I've known him to be able to do these things in a duplicitous type of manner. And so until you prove that you cannot be your genuine self and flourish, I won't condemn you. Now, like you said, if the results are not showing that you are transcendent of what we thought you were going to be, or at least mildly close to it, then everything's going to be scrutinized, and that's how it goes as being a quarterback anyway. No less one of the charter franchises, because we are we are major market media. He's a large personality. He does some, let's say, controversial type of things for the internet and for people's personalities or opinions already. So rest assured, everything's going to be peeled back regardless. And so I don't care about your indulgence in a few minutes to keep your mind clear. I want to know that on Sundays, everything that needs to happen is going to happen. And like you said, everything has been set up this time, more so than even last year, to give you exactly what is needed of an NFL quarterback, no less a number one overall, to totally flourish. And if you do not do so, much like any others, much like any other quarterback in the league, if you don't do the job that's expected of you, you will be criticized and critiqued to the unthinkable powers, and you will be relegated to what I want to call affectionately the Jay Cutler round. So I really don't know exactly any other way to speak about it, with the exception of you got everything you need. You're going to have to go out there and do what you do. Thus, I think the most pressure is on you, and I think your start comes up to be the slower of all of the ones that actually happens. What say you, Repink? How are you doing today? I appreciate everybody pulling up, hanging out. Let me know what the quality of the audio and video is right now. Tehelanism is usually my co-pilot when it comes to let me know if everything is on and popping down there. Repink, you absolutely gonna have a wrench. I don't care if y'all know what we talking about or if you even care, but you pull up every week and support your boy just like you do everybody else in SBC, and I appreciate it. So we ain't gonna forget that. Especially, you got to realize, Repink, in Twitch world, once you're able to be monetized, they have subscriptions, is what they call them over there, a membership. And so you get what they call a founder's badge when you are one of the first people to donate, and you are the first and only person to hit that cash app and donate to your boy. And that is very, very important, just like showing up. I appreciate the hell out of it. Don't even think nothing else. That rent is duly deserved. But I think I got Mr. Blue Facts back. So we're going to slide it on over to this next segment, if I do. And how are we going to talk about it, guys? How would we frame this right here? He can't hear me? So what's going on, Mr. Blue Facts? Give me a minute, y'all. He getting queued up for the questions.
I'm gonna pick you up on audio. 1 second.
Now I hear you at least. Still no? You're not catching it? Are you catching what's being pitched out there? You seeing the curve? He ain't seeing the curve. One moment, please. Hey, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't have some sort of opportunity to learn some growth in this world of audio and visual. And how ironic is it that I ask about it? Say that again. I ask about it, and now it happens, huh?
String, but
So you're not still hearing me in the Discord?
I got a rant here. 1 second, once I get this all back.
What about now? You still can't hear me, so you can rant? Because I can hear you. That's crazy. This is. I'm not the most. You can hear me. You can hear him. But I don't know if he can hear me. That's kind of important to what's going on. Yeah, I know. We're trying to figure out so we can hear each other. This is crazy. Hold on for a minute. Let me look at facts.
My rant is
Okay. Let me see.
not hear you.
Do you hear me now? No?
Okay, I'm back.
What about now?
I'm
No.
back.
You back? Can you hear me? No?
Oh, wait. I thought I was back.
I don't know. See, the tech genius is he make programs. I don't know if he tech support. That's the problem. I wish I had me some TV timeout music. It's absolutely crazy.
I'm gonna tell you why I hate Windows PCs in 1 second.
I mean, they started. Look, my day started late,
No tech support in my day.
and it's absolutely crazy. We might have to get back to some of the old days over here. Except I don't remember what I had him do last time to go ahead and hit me on the phone. Nope.
So my rant here is, while I'm still struggling to hear you because I'm trying to switch over to the Bluetooth, is Windows PCs suck. I literally got a restart in the middle of the stream. And then on top of that, when it did the restart, my headset defaulted to a different audio, a different device coming back up. So now I gotta switch my Bluetooth from one device to the other after the restart. And now I can't find the device because it's still connected to the old device that it shouldn't have been on in the first place. So now I'm doing that. That's my rant. It'll be 1 second.
Be like, power player. I don't know if you can keep up with stuff like that. Do you know when the Ravens start training camp? Couldn't tell you about Baltimore at all. And any other training camps that got started, because really, yeah. So Reed Pink, you can hear us clearly, I believe, but the issue is he can't hear me. So I can't throw no alley oops over here, so your boy could catch the question. And you heard the text spiel of how something just dropped down for him. These are the days where I might have to employ. Well, I don't even know this would have been fixed on StreamYard. HQ, how you been doing? What's going on with your HQ? I need to see Miss HQ at a Rumble. I miss her. No, I stream through OBS. I don't use StreamYard. If ever I'm big enough where people might want to join the panel and have any open discussion, that'll be an option. Today, we still small time ballers out here. Once again, y'all see the email there, Mailbox Sports 3. If we got any topics we might want to talk about pretty soon, it is going to be fantasy season. I don't know if anybody plays fantasy sports, particularly fantasy football and all other things football, because it's time for all of those things to kick off for me and my crew. Y'all let me know, because we're going to have an episode about it. Definitely going to see who actually want to get into a league, see what's going on. Might go ahead and hurry up and get a link so we can get y'all some gear. We've been working on some new things for the crew. Yeah, I've played daily fantasy a few times, T-Miles. I don't know that I've actually delved into that so much, because I get enjoyment from a league and playing against the same opponent. And something to be said for having camaraderie with the people that you're playing against, and not competing against 3,000 people to be the best. So I'm always ready for those particular opportunities. And I guess like I use FanDuel and DraftKings for betting purposes only. We're gonna get into some of that for the year too. Couple, 3-leg parlays, maybe a guaranteed stamp of approval on some type of bets. But we gonna talk about our bets throughout the year. I love legal betting. It's gonna give us ample time. And while we talk about time, I want to find out why Jalen Johnson. If y'all see the number 1, we got Jalen Johnson, Case Keenum. Who else did I see? Ian Wheeler, and I'm missing one other name of people that are on the NFI list, non-football injury. Obviously, some of those people got important roles. Most importantly, being that guy that plays cornerback for the Bears. So I do want to see what the status is on them as far as the non-football injury list and when they going to return. So, nonetheless, we are hoping that we get these tech misfires put together. And while we edit, I got to be a replay game out here repink, because I totally missed a large majority of the Regal Rumble last night. I saw a little bit, but I was trying to get some things done. YouTube is becoming a full-time job. I used to think it was going to be a part-time job. It's full-time being part-time. Coupled up with somebody being Papa and having the whole granddaddy role, you got to pace it out. We still got new route adjustments that have yet to be agreed, so we still pretty much working more than we might want to or need to, but it is what it is, and certain things got to happen when they do. So until further notice, we're gonna be continuing to go ahead and do it that way. A few more episodes for the weekend. We got plenty of things. We got plenty of videos on the video board. Some shorts, some previous live streams before people start popping up. The day I start needing an extra streaming day, it'll be a good day for me. But we ain't got it yet. I still hear you, but I'm wondering, do you hear me? Yeah, T Miles. I look forward to the day when, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out a day so I can do a junk mail episode during the week. But whenever that turns to another mailbox episode, I'm with it. And I might just tell you to call me. I dig you. I dig you. Boom, 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 boom. And we just about to watch this audible I'm about to call over here. Because that's how I gotta be. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, make it make sense, and let the show go on. Cause we are out here, but I can't have the audience thinking I don't know what I'm doing. So T Miles, I just started streaming on YouTube. I don't know how. I believe if I could do radio of the Bears, then I will stream live. If I'm not able to do the audio without it being flagged, then it'll be more of a pregame. What we want to see, predictions, so on and so forth type shit. At least that's my vision right now. That's my vision. My vision right now in the interim is that. So.
All right. Plan B.
Got to. Nonetheless, what do we call this mess? On to segment 3. My apologies. I can't believe I almost lost it. So they did ask a good question. Will we go live doing Bears games? I say more so of a pregame show, Mr. Bluefax.
Yeah.
Give us.
You don't want to see me watch the game?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to see me get, I don't know if I'll be pissed as much as usual. And that used to be like some people's delight to watch my meltdowns during games.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate having very many of those. And so we're going to see in mail we got scheming systems. And those scheming systems attach things to a route because it makes the most sense. And so by making the most sense in Ben Johnson's scheme, whether it be motions, whether it be some dual tight end looks, whether it be a more aggressive defensive front that the scheme can unlock, what I would classify as serious talent, we're going to try to talk about the players that might seal up their spots in Ben Johnson's blueprint. So, the question is,
okay,
which players on both sides of the ball are best positioned to benefit from the schematic changes on both sides? Whether it just be Ben, whether it be Dennis Allen, what players do you see improving their play, not only in talent level, but in schematic benefit?
Well, yeah, the obvious is Caleb, right? So Caleb should benefit from Ben Johnson in terms of just being able to scheme. Well, I think DJ, but probably more so Rome, is going to be, probably impacted significantly. Being able to scheme him open, being able to have a bunch of look. I think Rome should have I won't call it breakout, but have a significant upside to having Ben Johnson being there. Hopefully the running game is just more productive. I think going with this, 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, I think that should help out in the running game, bring in more balance. Everything should be better, man. Offensive line, new resources, new guys on that offensive line should create more lanes for the running game. All in all, I think I want to see the biggest jump on the offensive side of the ball. I don't necessarily know that a lot to be said in pressure on the quarterback, but pressure on the quarterback from a defensive side of things, I think, is secondary to how productive the offensive side of the ball can be. So I'm gonna go with more productivity from a better offensive line and head coaching schemes, so that our quarterback stays upright and that we can get people open early. So feel like that's a long-winded answer. Took me some time to come back. Had a lot of thoughts while I was having some audio issues, but you don't want to see me watching this game because I'm gonna be frustrated. I'm gonna be frustrated not because it's not gonna go well, but that's just my nature. I can't sit down watching a Bears game, so not yet to happen.
And I think in some ways that particular part is in essence. The only thing that I would have as a serious question about is the audio feed would be something that neither you or I could possibly listen to. And I say that because one, we're on a different time zone. Programming.
I'm mic'd up. I can put a little mic on.
Oh.
But the video is gonna be spotty and jumpy because I'm gonna be all over the place. I can go down the path and get a little mic set up, but you're not gonna see me in the frame because I'm standing up. I'm running.
Doing this.
Yeah, that's all you're gonna see. You're gonna be like, if he sit his ass down.
And well, you know what? I'm gonna give me a stand cam. Don't worry about it. I might be standing the whole damn time because I sit down periodically, but we always locked in doing 10 things at once, same time, until the logistics are figured out about that. It makes sense in my guesstimation for us to go ahead and get that good pregame going, because the pregame going to involve.
Maybe we do our draft.
Well, we're gonna do a nice.
Make our fantasy draft.
It's gonna be maybe a Monday. That might be a Monday episode, and that might be something that we might be able to record.
Yeah.
Get a live stream into our good old Snatch the Bag, or maybe maybe Monsters of the Midway. One of those will be our last draft, and I think that'd be a little bit of made for TV right there. Hopefully, we'll be having our own fantasy draft in terms of the postal game, baby, out here moving along with the mailbox movement. And who I think.
Do you have?
Go ahead.
The Discord. Are you sharing Discord so people know the Discord server?
I did not. I do not have the Discord programmed into here. That might be absent-minded of me. Totally absent-minded.
That way, people want to join. They can join the server community. They can find out more. See sports.
Duh.
You got a whole server. You got hundreds of people on there. It's all right. We're getting there. We're getting there.
The silliness of things that I don't think about, but coming to the stream next week. That's right. Coming to a stream near you. The Discord link, baby. Can't believe that G Honda do it all the time. I forgot. When a knock-knee tyrant do something I forget, horrible. We'll figure it out.
That's a hell of a name right there.
Oh, he got several of them, man. You got to tune in to the SBC Madness to hear all of them. But nonetheless, if you think about it, for me, DeAndre, even though your answer is spot on, everybody in one cog benefit from it, and I think that's more so from the offensive line and the play caller in itself. And so I think they all benefit equally from the vision because it goes, 1A, 1B. However, certain people that might be able to flourish a bit more than expected, there is a lot of questioning about one DeAndre Swift. I even watched a pod yesterday where it was still speculated that during camp or a little bit after camp we'll still sign another body to compete for the majority of the carries. I won't laugh it all the way out of there, but I think it's a laughable thing overall. But, surprised me. I think DeAndre Swift will have a more productive output for one reason and one reason only, and it's one Eric Bieniemy.
That part right there. I knew that's where you was going with that.
I do
Yeah. We
believe
talked
that.
about this
Yes,
last week.
it's imperative for somebody who's played the position, done so at a high level, in the collegiate and professional level, coached it several years, and that's his biggest strength when it comes to even being an OC back in the day. He's always been a running backs coach at heart, and that's where he started. And he knows how to get the most out of those guys. And I can't see him not being able to make a critical impact on somebody who's albeit been in the league for a while and has his own, I guess, habits. When someone's been critiqued as much as you have been for the draft position and productivity, I would think that it offers him the opportunity to once again put naysayers to sleep and do something that is said to not be possible from his aspects, i.e., just patient running, hitting holes, being explosive, and catching the ball out of the backfield while learning how to be challenged for blocking on the field, as other people will take you off of the field in those instances. And so I think he has the opportunity to do so. Much like on the defensive end, I think Javon Dexter, for me, is one of those guys, along with Deo Adingbo, that has the opportunity to prove and provide dividends that were unseen previously. In the sense that I think,
How much longer we got split? What's this contract?
maybe 2 more years he's under
like-
contract.
Oh, okay.
And so, obviously the last year probably, rarely is it a player option for the last year. It's usually the inverse. We'll find out. But, I'm really thinking in some capacities that the Adangbo, Javon Dexter will eventually be your left and right ends. I know he's drafted as a tackle. I do believe that when they went out and got Shamar Turner, that gives him the opportunity to have that D tackle in the middle. I do believe they'll pick up another one at some point. Like you said, we got a couple years left, so he'll still be able to kind of switch and be a stunt type of guy right now. And so being able to play multiple places on the line and having a better defensive end coach allegedly, and having what people would call an upgrade in some levels on the defensive coordinator in terms of aggression, it should be more of a scheme that unlocks his talent the most and gives him more of a consistent burst. We've seen pops from him, but never the complete season. I think this is the year we see a complete season from him, and we kind of quell some of the defensive issues, because I do believe with many great offenses, sometimes creating a short field gives you the best opportunity to learn how to cook and gain some momentum early in the season in terms of just acclimating to a new offense. You can do a lot more simplistic type things until you can roll into the week 4 of opening the playbook if your defense gives you those types of movements. And so I look forward to a guy like a Javon Dexter, Shamar Turner flourishing in his role, being able to make some noise and benefiting the most from the overall schemes that go on there. But now we'll talk about some priority mail. What you got for me right there?
I just thought about it. You said you don't think you're going to be as frustrated as you were in the past watching the games, but then I recall that you also got us winning 13 games. And so I don't understand how you're not going to be frustrated.
That's folly and speculation. We went through a schedule very early, and
Okay.
Let's also note that the schedule we took in terms of a 3-headed person, that was a majority of what we thought as a group. 2 out of 3 chose to win.
No, I think you got 13. We got 11.
No.
As a group, we had 11.
I don't know.
I think you chose 13.
I don't know.
As an individual, I got it written down somewhere, but I digress.
We'll get into that. And how will I be frustrated? I mean, besides normal bumps and hiccups, how do you see my frustration level being different? Is what I want to say.
If you think we're winning 13 games, there's going to be a drop from that 13, and so there's clearly going to be games that you thought we were going to win that we did not. And so I just see you being frustrated because there's going to be a few damn it, we should have won those. I can't believe we let them get out of here with a dub.
Well, again, I say totally facetious with 13 wins, but I digress on that
Okay.
part.
All right.
I know we
Okay.
probably got it written down somewhere, but that was probably
We do.
I mean, that was probably I want to say that was before any sort of even OTA was started. That was just like with the coach with the schedule release. That's what that was. You know, that was just looking at a glance. Didn't even factor
I'm going
into
back.
where we played or anything else. But yeah, we're gonna have an opportunity because if anybody doesn't know, I want to have this conversation best with all of my friends, and so we're gonna have a round table to see where we all ultimately end up, because typically at the end of the year somebody has to pay up on a bet loss. We're gonna find out exactly what that is and who it's gonna be. And power player, if you mean number 3 in the NFC, then okay, but I don't know what the fuck you mean with no damn 3 wins. But all right, your team, being the Baltimore Ravens, got a better chance of winning 3 games than mine this year, and we know that's a fucking stretch. So we can stop them games right there. Anyhow, training camp is where jobs are earned, but not all positions carry equal weight. You know, the left tackle, cornerback depth, wide receiver 3 in particular. Some of those battles will determine how first class our offense really is. And so I kind of want to know what fans will be watching for when it comes to training camp. And so I ask you, fan, what position battle or battles are the most important for you to watch, and how do you think they affect the outcome of the team? And that could be depth, pieces, starters. I know we talked about some roster bubbles and so on and so forth. What types of position battles do you think are most important to watch?
I think one of the most important to watch is going to be on the offensive line. So I think we need to see what happens from an offensive line standpoint. We already know about the core, our center. We already got pieces on that offensive line that we know are going to be here and in the starting lineup. What does that depth look like? Who's fighting for positions at tackle? Who's trying to get, who's trying to enhance or contribute to that depth that we have? So I think one is going to be at the offensive line outside of those 3 key players. I would say I'm not necessarily concerned about the tight end room. I think that is what it's going to be. Maybe on the defensive line.
Okay.
I guess the trenches all the way around. How are we going to have depth? When I think about good teams, I think about teams that have success. They have depth positions. So outside of just having those key players, those star players, you got to have the others, as Shaquille O'Neal would say. The others have to contribute, and so I expect Sweat to be more of a factor. But then I also need him to have depth. I need Dexter to step up. To me, Dexter stepping up and being more impactful, being more of a anchor on that defensive line is going to be key. And so people need to fill in around those players.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to see some young talent kind of, make some contribution, because right now although we have some players that we think are going to have impact, those are veteran players who are, not the youngest. I want some of these draft picks. I want some of these people that maybe aren't the superstar caliber players that we're expecting to also have an impact. So let me see some young guys who can name for themselves and start to really contribute, so we don't have to keep trading for talent, and we can start to accrue our own talent. Is where I would like to see training camp kind of start to work for us.
And
not having such late starts, bro. Like, I'm so sick of us starting slow. I think that's where I want to see, off topic slightly, but that's where I want to see Ben's biggest impact. I do not want to see us starting games slow. I do not want to see us 3 and outs for the entire first quarter, right? So I think that's where that helps along with confidence in what we're actually trying to do. Because I think that that impacts our ability to, get going early, start out with a lead. I don't know how many games we started out with the lead last season, but not very many. And so I think that's an opportunity for everybody.
Well, the only thing I'm gonna add to that right there, hit the like button. If you haven't, go ahead and share the link. Tell your friends, join your friends, and they can all talk shit together. But a wide receiver 3 battle that most people might not know about or talk about. We talked about Luther Burden having a ravishing career and all things of the sort. He too was injured, whether it be advised to sit out or not. He was injured and didn't participate again after his first day. So he is off to a slow start in terms of OTAs and things of that sort. Until yesterday, I believe he did practice, so maybe it was just precautionary. Nonetheless, Alume Zacchaeus has incentive. You stop it, G Honda. But Zacchaeus has incentives that can get him an extra $250,000 based on playing time himself. He has been known to be an excellent blocker and has excellent hands as a tertiary receiver. By the evidence, 50 catches and 500 yards. Salute to you and TJ Watt getting that bread. But that's one of the battles that I see shaping the beginning of the season, much like training camp with Audrey Trapillo getting the opportunity to possibly start over Braxton Jones because Braxton is still rehabbing. And so those two things right there will give me some things to kind of watch in terms of rotation and who does what. And also, once again, we're going to start what I like to call a no huddle here and speak to the fact that Mr. Bluefact once again almost, I think, answered the question of my last segment or the next segment that was brought up for us. And everybody want to hit the ground running, as he said. We got a new staff, new QB situation in terms of his second year and under a new system, and what early delivery confirmations what we have needed to believe this team's headed in the right direction. Mr. Bluefax just epitomized all those things and saying a fast start is imperative and most important to him seeing things that show we going in the right direction. Like he said, we didn't have many times where we started out with the lead. Didn't have many times where we didn't start out 3 and out. Didn't have very many successful scripted plays, even when they call themselves having scripted plays. That's right.
We didn't script. How we?
Wasn't reading script. Wasn't reading script.
How we go through 6 games and don't script the first 15 plays?
Ineptitude, silliness, and non-professionalism. And while I blame players for not trying to make that known a bit more, I guess you can only do so much being the pawn on the board when the coach gets to make the calls. So this year you have less, in my opinion, of a excuse. Like TJ got less of an opportunity to press down his leg. He got to play like he the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. I got to digress. I do think those are the ways in which we go ahead and have a strong start to the season. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that having a lead and showing me that you guys know how to script out those first 15, execute things flawlessly or at least with as limited amount of flaw as possible, and going ahead and showing me that the offense is really truly what we think it to be. Those are the things, along with defensive strides, that I think will help us go ahead and trend in the right direction and start the season. And brings us to our last question before we wrap up and hit our ET clock over here, Mr. Bluefax. The Bears are not rebuilding, but we are reloading. And so I want to know from you, how would the fans see success for the team? What would be the things that would determine that for you? And I got a way to frame it for you. Could that be possibly a playoff berth? Could it be overall improvement in terms of flow and consistency from the offense and defense? Or could it be the singular declaration that Caleb has truly panned out to be exactly what we thought he was, and in fact a right choice at QB? I'm not asking you for win totals. I'm asking you what thing, sans that, would show you that the Bears reload would give the fan bare minimum success or satisfaction.
Good question. I'm gonna start out with one. We should be able to to end this season with no questions about the quarterback. I think one, the floor is the questions. Not that I have questions, but the overall narrative of, is Caleb Williams a good quarterback, and is he the right quarterback for the Chicago Bears? I think we should be able to answer that question, and that has nothing to do with number of wins. I think the way we'll get there is, one, some of the stuff we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Slow starts. I think a quarterback in this time period that we're in should be able to throw for 4,000 yards. I think that's one of the. It's more about the eye test, but I think 25 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. I think those are things that we should be able to, not necessarily, exceed, but those should be within the realm of possibility with the quarterback play that we are expecting to get. I would also say that based off of that, it does not mean that we're going to make the playoffs, because we are in the toughest division of football. But there should be conversation about this. We should be halfway through the season and talking about possibilities and not rebirths and next year. So it's more of a level of comfort in his play and the eye test, and the narrative should be trending towards, well, what can we be, not what we need to do.
And so I think that goes hand in hand with, like, one T Miles said, all the above, and I totally agree right there. But Rival, how you feeling today, brother? I think that the defense had, if I'm not mistaken, 40 sacks last year. We know we gave up 68 as a unit on the other side, but you only had 40, and that would rank you very, 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 very fucking low in terms of productivity. I need my defense to play a symbiotic type of game with the offense. And I know that at times throughout last season and many other seasons that the defense was holding up the offense and did as much as they could. I need to understand that I can expect the same productivity from you on the majority as I can from the offense. I don't need 56-yard touchdown runs in the second half. I mean, in the second quarter, going into the half. I don't need constantly watching 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 6 being converted. I don't need to see constant flags for defensive offsides or anything, encroachments, none of those types of silliness types of things like that. And conversely, I don't need to see any pre-snap penalties on the offense. So way too many of those types of things last year, and you cannot be post-smart for any success if those things are not eliminated, not just drastically cut down on them, but eliminated. The good teams do not mess up when it comes to those types of situations, and I cannot see it being anything that helps us in any way, shape, or form. Be that as it may, what can help us is anybody spreading the word, hitting the share button on the content, checking out and hitting the mailbox, the sports shorts, the junk mail, and letting those things hit play and seeing what we got in store, seeing how far we have come, and seeing what things we got to come up for the oncoming and upcoming football season. Before we put a stamp on it, anybody got final thoughts in the chat, feel free to let me know about them. Mr. Bluefax, I know, has some things to do, so the things I want to watch close early on, like I said, a little bit of seamless things going on, no false starts. Don't you play games with me, sir. You don't see 18 used to be Kyle Orton if you knew anything. Don't try to worry about my damn team's history, sir. With your yellow and black. That ain't black and gold. That's yellow and black. I'm gonna call it what it is. Black and yellow. You ain't got no gold out there. Y'all stop it. Nonetheless, shout out to all the viewers, including G Honda and his Kyle Orton hating ass. Drop your camp thoughts in the comments below. If you got a topic you want to discuss, as it says from Botrix, go ahead and hit that email. Mailboxsports3@yahoo.com. Mailboxsports3 is also the Cash App. Go ahead and hit that up if you want to, as we continue to try to build this plane while we go. As I stated yesterday, we growing. Get them ticket for the train before we start gaining steam, because you cannot get on this train once we stop. Mr. Bluefax, before you cut out, do you got anything to add to us?
Go Cubs. Pretty simply, one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball. That lineup is crazy. We had two different back-to-back home run series. Yesterday's game started out with a home run first pitch, second batter home run, came back in the 6th, 7th inning, something like that. Had back-to-back home runs again. PCA is going crazy.
Needed that one.
Suzuki crazy. Bush crazy. I ain't even talking about Kyle Tucker crazy.
Hey, don't forget about Shaw. Shaw had one for us yesterday too. Don't forget about Matty. People want him replaced out there.
We up and down the lineup, and so if you're not watching baseball,
that's the reason to watch.
If you don't watch baseball, watch the Cubs.
Absolutely.
That's about it, man.
Go ahead. I'll talk to you later on, bro. Appreciate you pulling up as usual. Everybody hit that sub button if you have not. Share it with your friends. Hit that like button. Red Sox getting smacked by us right damn now. And you finna go off with that last one, G Honda. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. He already got me a little bit off with the, what do you call, cameras. My apologies, everybody. Go ahead. Get to the rest of your day. Hit those notification. Hit those notification bells. Don't worry about it. I don't want you to miss out on a single episode. I appreciate y'all pulling up. We're going to head on out for the day. Get our afternoon started so we can get into the recap of the Regal Rumble. If you guys who are here for me do not know about some good programming, go ahead and hit up SBC Nation, Cart Before the Horse, and Single by Choices. Appreciate you out here. We're going to